There are many different recipes out there for this African chicken peanut stew. I've made a couple different variations, but this recipe is my favorite. I have some bone-in chicken thighs that I cleaned, trimmed, dried, and now I'm seasoning with some salt, black pepper, a sprinkle of cayenne pepper, and paprika. In my deep skillet on medium-high heat, I'm adding some oil and placing the chicken thighs skinned down. I'm letting them cook for about 6 to 8 minutes or until there is a golden crust and the chicken releases from the pan. I'm seasoning the underside of the chicken and flipping, cooking for another 3 to 4 minutes or until a crust forms. Then I'm removing the chicken from the pan and setting to the side. You will be able to find this recipe in the list of ingredients in the Show More section below. If you click on the word Show More, it will open and reveal this recipe, links where you can purchase some of the items that I use, and much, much more. If you have a chance, please check it out. You want about a half a cup of oil and chicken fat in the bottom of the pan. On medium heat, I'm adding in the diced onions, giving them a toss for a minute, and then I'm adding in the minced garlic and ginger. These two are the highlight of this dish. Such a burst of flavor. I've seen many different spices used in this recipe, including coriander and cumin, but I found just a couple of bay leaves add the right blend to all the other ingredients. Next is liquid. You can use water, but I'm using chicken broth to add more flavor. I'm turning up my heat to bring this up to a simmer. Now I'm adding in the tomato paste, and this is going to add some color, flavor, and help thicken the stew, giving that a good stir to incorporate. Here is part of the spicy in this African chicken peanut stew. The recipe calls for 1 or 2 whole habanero or scotch bonnet peppers. You don't want to dice these up as they would be too hot, but when you throw them in whole, they give a nice back note of heat. Now I'm adding the chicken and juices back into the pan, bringing this up to a simmer and cooking uncovered for an hour. Halfway during the cooking, I will give the chicken a flip and stir to make sure nothing is sticking. It's been an hour and the kitchen is smelling great. Now's the time to skim any excess fat or impurities off the top. I'm placing the chicken to one side of the pan and stirring in a half a cup of peanut butter. The peanut butter is not overpowering in this dish, but adds a nice richness and creaminess. If you wanted, you could also use crunchy peanut butter or even add some roasted peanuts for a little crunch. Now I'm adding in some diced plum tomatoes, a couple sliced carrots. This is some cubed sweet potatoes, and these are a couple cubed russet potatoes. The potatoes add bulk, texture, and flavor. You can add the vegetables that you like. I have also used bell peppers, celery, zucchini, and cauliflower. For more spicy, I'm sprinkling over some cayenne pepper. I'm using probably about 1/4 teaspoon. The recipe calls up to 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, so you can adjust the spicy that you like, giving that a gentle stir so the vegetables are submerged. Now is also a good time to fish out the habanero pepper and the bay leaves, bringing this back up to a simmer and cooking for another 15 to 20 minutes or until the vegetables are soft and tender. I so wish you could smell this. Serving tonight with some steamed jasmine rice and topped with cilantro. You can add in a handful of cilantro at the end of cooking, but I like to garnish individually. My husband is not a big fan of cilantro. You could also serve this with some steamed broccoli or a side salad. This African chicken peanut stew is so good. It is hard to describe the depths of flavor. They are rich and blend so well together. The chicken is tender and everything is soaked up that thick, spicy tomato, peanutty, garlic ginger sauce. This recipe is a definite keeper. If you like spicy, you will love this recipe. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen, and I hope you give this African chicken peanut stew a try and enjoy. I'm starting by making the sauce. I have a half a cup of light soy sauce, 1/4 cup of rice vinegar, 1/4 cup of water, approximately a teaspoon of whole peppercorns, 8 cloves of minced garlic. Yeah, that's a good bit of garlic and it adds a lot of flavor to this dish. and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, giving that a good mix. This sauce is the right balance of salty, sweet, and tang. I have 4 large bone-in chicken thighs that I cleaned and dried, seasoning both sides with a little salt. In my pan on medium-high heat, I have about 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and I'm adding my chicken skin side down. Once I have the chicken placed, I'm not going to touch it until I see a nice brown crust form on the skin and sides. This is going to take about 3 to 4 minutes. Once that happens, I'm going to flip it over and cook for another 3 minutes to help form a crust. Just a reminder that I will leave the recipe and the list of ingredients for this Filipino chicken adobo below this video. Also remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video recipe, and click the bell to make sure you receive notification of all my future video recipes. You want about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil on the bottom of the pan. You may need to drain off some excess fat and liquid. Now I'm adding in 1 small diced onion and cooking for another 2 minutes. I'm pouring over my sauce and turning up my heat to bring this up to a simmer. I'm adding in a little more water to bring the level halfway up the chicken. I'm also adding in 4 bay leaves, which will add a lot of flavor. Once at a simmer, I'm going to cover and cook for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you want to remove the lid and baste the chicken with the sauce for a minute or 2. Serving tonight with some steamed broccoli and rice. The chicken is so tender and saturated with that delicious salty, tangy sauce. Make sure you get some of that sauce on the rice. It is so good. Garnishing with some cilantro. The great part of this chicken adobo dinner is that it is easy, a one-pot meal, great on the budget, and you can have it ready in 45 minutes. I hope you give this classic Filipino chicken adobo meal a try and enjoy. Huli chicken is typically chicken that is cooked or grilled and then basted with a sauce or glaze that has pineapple juice and other ingredients that add a nice, fresh, bright Hawaiian flavor. For my sauce, I have some pureed pineapple. I had canned crushed pineapple and I used my food processor to puree. Adding in some ketchup, brown sugar, or you can use honey, low-sodium soy sauce, and apple cider vinegar, giving that a good stir to combine. For the chicken, I'm using cubed, bite-sized boneless chicken thighs, and you can use chicken breasts. I'm adding a little oil to my medium-high heat pan along with the chicken and cooking for 5 to 8 minutes or until the chicken is done and then removing from the pan. Don't worry about all the tidbits and coating on the bottom of the pan. That will add flavor when we add the sauce. I have my heat on a medium, and now I'm adding in the diced onions and bell peppers. Cooking and stirring for a couple minutes, and then I'm adding in the fresh diced pineapple. Next is the minced garlic and ginger. Cooking and stirring for about 30 seconds to combine, and then I'm adding in the sauce. This is smelling so good and I can't wait to eat. Bringing this up to a simmer, cooking and stirring for about 10 minutes or until the veggies are tender. Remember to give it a taste test for any seasonings that you may want to add. You will be able to find this recipe in the list of ingredients in the Show More section below. If you click on the word Show More, it will open and reveal this recipe, links where you can purchase some of the items that I use, and much, much more. If you have a chance, please check it out. At the end, I'm adding in the chicken and all the juices, stirring to combine and heating the chicken through, and we are done. Tonight I'm serving with some black jasmine rice. The earthiness of the rice is a nice texture and flavor contrast to the huli sauce. I hope you give this huli Hawaiian barbecue chicken a try and enjoy. Aloha! If you like this video recipe, please hit the like and subscribe button. Remember to hit the bell next to the subscribe to make sure that you get my future video recipes. You can also find me on Facebook and at my website. Feel free to share this recipe and my channel with your friends and family. And until next time, much love!